Hey, yo. MOM Radio and the Pipe Bomb Radio Network present Not Your Mama's Radio Show with your hosts, former WWE superstars and two men that are always on a mission, Oscar and Sir Mo.
And now, welcome everybody to Not Your Mama's Radio Show with your host, Oscar. What's going on, man?
Oh, what's happening, Felix? How are you, my man?
Well, first off, I have to state I apologize to all the listeners tonight for little changes, a little chaos, but you know, I will say this. Positivity will always overcome negativity, and tonight is just proof of that.
Yeah, that's right.
I wanted to mention, of course, also, we apologize for the inconvenience at this point. Justin Credible will not be joining us tonight. We will save that for another time. But rest assured, as I mentioned, the show will go on. And as you guys are seeing here tonight, we are going to continue on. We've got Mimi and we've got Sir Mo. Hey, guys. Welcome back. Appreciate you guys coming on. I apologize for the tardiness, but like I said, positivity will always outweigh negativity, and that's why we're here.
Okay. Justin Credible got a lot of nerve. I don't want you to worry about Justin, Felix. We will deal with Justin in good time, because we're not just some fan show that want to have him on because we are so in awe of his greatness. We grew up in this business with Justin Credible. He's a friend of ours. Don't think that we not going to get... Matter of fact, I was with Justin Credible when Vince took him and gave him the Aldo Montoya gimmick. I defended him when all the boys was calling him Darkwing Duck because of the way his mask looked. So, yeah, don't think that we won't deal with Justin in due time. We'll get him on and we're going to straighten him out. So don't worry about it.
What did I miss?
You missed that Justin is standing us up again.
Oh, okay.
Like we that $20 date on the corner. Oh, don't worry, we will deal with it.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, honey.
Hey, Mimi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Hey, Mimi. I was on the phone. I was on the phone with WWE today.
Okay.
And guess what they said to me?
What they say?
What?
They said they hear more from me and Austin than they do from anybody.
I am not surprised to hear that.
Yep, they said they hear more. They get more phone calls from me and Oscar than any of the alumni.
Okay, well, what did that tell them?
When I called her today, I said, hey. She said, hey, Mo, how you doing? She said, you know what? I hear from you and Clemmy more than anybody. I said, well, I hope it ain't a bad thing. She said, well, can't be a bad thing, to keep you on people's minds. I was like, well, I'm going to call once a week, every week, just so everybody know that I'm still alive. I said, I'm going to call once a week, every week, just to let everybody know I'm still alive. I'm still on the job, doing something. So I made my weekly phone call today.
Yeah, well, it can't hurt.
No,
they'll probably give us something just to keep us from calling.
Yeah, Probably.
Get them two fools in position just so they don't call this number no damn more.
And bug us.
Man, exactly.
Right.
But
I was all.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
It's a good
I mean, I was
thing.
always told that if you wanted a job, you call the people every day. They give you a
Yep.
job.
Yep.
Call them every day. I want a job.
Yep.
So
it's a $1 billion company. I have no problem asking for stuff.
Look, she said, have you sent a resume and stuff through HR? And I said, listen. I said, you know what? I said, I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I'm not gonna cut the corner. I'm just gonna tell you how I feel. Look, you know, I'm from the old school. We don't go through HR. You know, we pick up the phone and we call somebody we know and say, yo, man, hook a brother up with a job.
Right.
You can't do that with a resume. I said, because I sent in a resume. I said, all it's going to do is sit in a stack with 150,000 other resumes.
Yep.
You know? I said, you know, come on now. I said, listen. I said, also, you know, like I know, that there are jobs that come open, you know, road agents or training down at the training center that don't never get posted. Those type of jobs don't ever get posted. Those are inside jobs. And I figure, you know, with me being an alumni of the company, that keeps me, I'm still on the inside, so I qualify for those jobs. I just need somebody to know that I'll take one of them when they come available. You know,
yeah.
I want to be part of the buddy system. You know, so I made my weekly phone call to the office today.
Well, the bad news is that I have a riddle for you, Mo, and this will put things into perspective.
Okay.
What did Vince say to Triple H about that woman down there in Memphis?
About the woman in Memphis?
Yep.
I don't know.
$10,000 a month to who?
Say what?
You get it? $10,000 a month to who?
I don't know.
Yeah, you think about it. $10,000 a month to who? In other words, with the company tightening their belt, and with our partner Nelson's situation after his death being resolved, and now that they're tightening their belt, don't think that Vince, when he looked at all the books, didn't cuss Triple H out about that situation. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, with the company tightening its belt, you know, to me anyway, asking for a job right now, we may not be walking with such open arms. They're trying to get rid of people, not add people on.
No, see, here's the thing. Okay, see, that's where I disagree with you. Okay, here's the thing. Here's what people don't realize in the wrestling business. See, in the wrestling business, it's different than downsizing a corporation. You understand? If you fire a CEO in a corporation, you still got to fill his spot. And when you fill his spot, whoever you fill it with, bringing them in, they're gonna require some money. In the wrestling business, you can get rid of a $75,000, $150,000, $250,000 a year talent, and you can replace them with a $30,000 talent. See, you can get rid of 20 wrestlers. That's a high dollar. And bring in 20 other wrestlers on the independent circuit that's probably got more talent than the 20 that you got rid of, and not have to pay half as much the money for them. You see, just because they cut the budget doesn't mean that they're going to leave those spots open. You understand? It just means that they're going to get rid of the high-dollar people, and then they're going to bring in people that's not going to cost as much but can still do the job. You feel me?
All right, I got you. It's funny you should mention that because
it's actually
in the WWE report.
Yeah.
In the WWE report later, Miss Dreamy is actually going to discuss some of those numbers. And to some of us alumni, when we hear those numbers, we are going to be astounded, and we may not be too happy. She's got some of the facts and figures about what people are being paid and some of the other perks they're getting. So later on in WWE News, she's going to cover some of that. Moving on, Healthcare 2014. To my fans and friends, I got to tell you, Oscar was hospitalized, sidelined again last week, and boy, did I find out that I've got some problems. I was in the hospital because I had another one of those little stroke scare situations. And even though I didn't have a stroke, I did exhibit stroke-like symptoms, but I'm okay. It's still a little rough to talk and rough to, I'm having facial issues and all that. But I found out that I'm not as healthy as I am. I'm a 50-year-old guy, and I've got health problems. Let me run them down for y'all real quick. Let's see. First off, I got high cholesterol. Second, I got high sugar. Thirdly, I got high blood pressure.
Sounds like
and
you're black.
Fourthly, and I'm diabetic.
Sounds like you're African American.
Yeah. I'm diabetic. There's a reason why I'm diabetic, and I'm going to tell you that story real fast. And then, Felix, we're going to go get Jesse Hernandez from California because he said he can give us just a few minutes. I'm diabetic, and there's a story behind that. But the shocker of them all, the one that shocked me, and everybody sit down. Everybody sit down. I'm overweight.
Oh, yeah. You're a fat African American. That's why you got all those problems. On my chart, they wrote morbidly obese. I was so offended. I was so offended when I saw those words on paper. Who the hell are you calling morbidly obese?
You Negro?
Right.
Okay, but
African American.
Now, there's good news in all this. The good news is I'm going to get healthy because I'm in fat camp right now in my own home.
Fat camp.
I'm in fat camp. I'm in fat camp, and the fat camp warden is right here on the phone. Let me tell you. So when I came home, I found the 2-liter pot that I had in the refrigerator. That was poured out, gone.
She poured out the Pepsi.
She poured out the Pepsi. Replaced it with water and diet tea.
I love that.
Water and diet tea.
Yeah. I have been eating only baked foods. I have been drinking diet tea. I can drink a quarter glass of pop with the rest being water. I went out to eat the other day. I had Diet Coke. I am on a serious diet. But let me tell you how bad this is. I tried to sneak some pop one night. She was in the bed snoring. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I tried to sneak some pop. She actually woke up and got mad and stormed out the room because I don't know whether she heard the cat or the air from the cat or anything like that, but I actually got busted. I'm like, how the hell am I? I'm telling you, it's bad. She was across town the other day, and I came home, I was hungry. And I said, I wonder if I could sneak and fry me a couple of pieces of chicken. But I didn't do it because she probably would smell it from across town.
Probably.
Yep.
Oscar, I really think that you should try some of that DDP yoga. No joke.
DDP yoga? Oh, DDP yogurt?
Yeah,
yoga. Oh, look at that.
Yogurt. Yoga.
He didn't say yoga.
Yoga.
Fat boy. He didn't say yoga, fat boy.
One step at a time.
Oh, no, of course.
Let me tell y'all real fast why I'm diabetic, and I'm going to show y'all something in life what goes around comes around.
Because you drink too much pop.
No. It's a deeper story. It's a deeper story. It's a deeper story than this.
Okay.
The story goes like this. I'm in Europe with Nelson. I think we were in Germany. Mm-hmm. And I came down to the tour bus. I was the last one on the bus going to the arena. We was about 10 minutes late. An earthquake, John Tenter got real upset, and he was like, Oscar, why are you late coming to the bus? And I asked him, I was like, why? What's the matter? You got some place to be? And he got real offended. He got real mad and started yelling at me and all that kind of stuff like that. And he said, and I quote, he was like, Oscar, I got to get to the arena to eat. I got diabetes. I got to eat at a certain time. I got diabetes. He said it just like that. So what I did from there on out is I would mock the way he said it because I didn't like the guy at the time, and it was real funny the way he said it. He was like, I got diabetes. I even have my kids doing it. They were like, Oscar, I got diabetes. See what happens? You mock somebody's situation, and then years later turn around, you got the same situation. So Earthquake, rest in peace. I'm sorry I did it. Now I got it, and so I'm like, oh, Oscar's got diabetes. It's just, it's just real bad. But I'm going to be okay. I mean,
you're an idiot.
I'm like, I got times. I mean, I actually have times with this diet. I'm struggling with it. I have times where I just want to say, just give me a case of Pepsi, a bucket of chicken, and let me die. It's just, it's hard.
Oh, my Jesus.
But I'm going to be all right, though.
Hey, get to Jesse Hernandez.
All right, I'm going to be calling him right now.
Yeah, I'm tired of listening to the fat boy. Mimi, how was your day?
Hold on
a second, guys. It was pretty
good. Good.
Hello, Jesse speaking. Hello?
Hey, Jesse, it's Oscar.
Jesse said, who the hell is Oscar?
Yeah, I know, right?
I've got Jesse on the line, guys.
Okay, Jesse, it's Oscar.
Oscar, man. I miss Men on a Mission from years ago. What a team. What a combination. What a great manager you were to those guys, man.
Oh, well, thanks a lot, guy. Guess what? Mo's on the phone, too.
Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
How you doing, brother? How are you?
I'm good. I'm great.
Oh, man.
Now, for those that don't know, Jesse Hernandez was a referee in WWE that worked with us out there when we had those West Coast matches. Now he runs the School of Hard Knocks out there in Southern California, in the hottest region of California, Riverside, running the School of Hard Knocks, teaching them kids how to really do it in the ring. Jesse, tell us what you've been doing, bro.
Man, I've been busy with Empire Wrestling Federation, which is a group that I own out here in the Southern California area. And, of course, I still have my school here in San Bernardino, as a matter of fact. And we've been averaging a lot of events lately. There was 1 month we had 9 shows in 1 month. Not too many people can do that nowadays, But I'm retired. I retired from the city of San Bernardino after 28 years. And I've been working harder now than when I was working. Yeah.
Wow. All right, so back in the day, you were a referee. What are some of the greatest matches that you would say? I'm not going to keep you long because I know you run into school by yourself. Tell us some of the greatest matches that you had the opportunity to referee out there on the West Coast.
Oh, man, there was just so many back then. I call it the golden years of wrestling, If I was working for WWE right now, I don't think it'll be the same as it was back then. I mean, we had the legends, man. We had the Hulk Hogan's, King Kong Bundy's, gosh, man, so many of them. But the one match that I recall, and it wasn't for WWE, it was for WWF at the time. It was actually for an NWA event that I refereed back then. It was Ric Flair versus Magnum TA. That has to have been one of the most exciting matches. And back then I was refereeing a lot for WWF, and nothing went, nothing on house shows, nothing went past 15 minutes, So I wasn't used to, at that time, I was spoiled. And I remember this match, half an hour into the match, I said, man, how long are you guys going? Oh, we're halfway there now. I said, holy crap. They did a 55-minute match, man. And let me tell you, the finish was, I take a bump, which literally I was so into the match that I flew backwards out of the ring, man, between top and center ropes, so I won't catch one guy throwing the other from the other side of the ring, over the top rope, because that was a disqualification. So then so I lay there, and Rick looks at me, man, are you all right? I said, I winked at him, I'm fine. Go do what you got to do. And then eventually they took it back to this side of the ring, and then one guy throws the other, and I call it a DQ from that side. But it was exciting. Wow. It was exciting. And as far as WWF matches back then, I mean, the Hogan matches were incredible. Ricky Steamboat matches were fantastic.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
There's just so many. Leilani Kai and Judy Martin, when they wrestled the Japanese girls, the Jumping Bomb Angels, oh, my God, now that was an exciting match. They wore me out. They were all over that ring, man. It was awesome. It was awesome.
So much history with you, Jess, as a referee, especially back during the golden days. Now, tell me quickly, and I like to ask all the old timers this, what do you think of the product today?
It's totally different, you know. It's, you know, there's something missing, of course, and I really wish I could comment more on that. but the thing is, you know, telling a story. You know, I think everybody needs to slow it down a little bit. They're going 110 miles an hour, like Rich used to do, and the old referee used to tell me. You know, and he used to criticize lucha libre matches. They go 100 miles an hour, nobody wants to sell.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, and you know, but I think they, you know, they need to go back to wrestling.
Okay.
And not
Makes
so much
sense.
Hollywood, you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they need, you know, a commentator should be talking about what's going on in the ring, you know, instead of promoting, well, you know, I guess they got to promote other stuff, you know, nowadays, but that part, man, it takes it away from the actual wrestling of what's going on in that ring. You know what I'm saying? You know, actually, like Gordon Soley, for example, you know, I mean, he what a commentator he was back then, you know. Out here in the West Coast, we had Dick Lane. I mean, you could be blind and sit in front of your television set and know what was going in that ring because he would tell everything that was happening. You know, step by step, he was letting the audience know, you know, what's going on in that ring. And that's what's missing right now.
Oh, Gordon Soley arguably is the best announcer in wrestling history.
Yeah.
I'd argue anybody that. I mean, that man knew more about wrestling than wrestlers. He was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
All right, before you go, tell us about the School of Hard Knocks. How much is it to enroll? What do you learn, and where are you located, and how do they get to, you know, get a part of your expertise?
All you have to do is go to www.SCOCHtraining.com, and it'll give you all the information. We charge $500 for new students that have never trained before, and you're actually just paying in advance for 20 sessions. After that, it drops down to $200 for every 12. You know, and that's for the 18 and over. If you're 17 and under down to 14, you only pay $250, and you're paying in advance for 17 workouts. And then after that, it's 14 workouts for $150. You can't beat that. Those are good prices. You know, we're not trying to steal anybody's money around here, man. And we give you the best training possible.
Those are real good prices. I'm glad to know that you're doing so well. I had the honor of working with you guys when I was out there about 2 years ago. You do a great job, a great work. I wish you had more time. I'm going to get you on longer because I know you got a lot of history, but I know you running the school. Thanks for coming on for me and doing me this favor, my man.
No problem, man. You know, maybe with more time we can set something up in the near future for that.
All right, I love you, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, man. Take care, guys. Love you guys, man.
All right. Yeah, he mentioned when it comes down to announcers, Felix, who raced the top 5? He said Gordon Soley. I don't know who. If he's not number 1, I don't know who is.
You got Gordon Soley.
Yep.
You got Lance Russell.
Another good one.
Of course, Jim Ross.
Right.
Bob Calder was great.
Okay.
I was always a fan of Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan.
Of course.
Those are some of my favorites because they're just a childhood favorites of mine. But, you know, Jim Ross and the King were good. Lance Russell, very, very good. Gordon, you know what? They call him the greatest. And some say Jim Ross could be up there with him, but some disagree. You know what? I'd call it a tie. That's just my opinion. But
between Gordon and Jim Ross?
Absolutely. I believe Jim Ross credits him for all of his success, so even Jim would say he's not as good as Gordon, but I mean, I think he is. But it is. It's about, they're about equal, I'll say that.
Okay. You guys might disagree with this, but I thought Vince was pretty damn good.
I didn't mind him. I think he did good work with Jesse and with Kurt and with Jerry and Randy and Roddy and all. But most enjoyable had to be him and Jesse Ventura.
Well, yeah. Okay. All right, Dreamy. This is where you can jump in at. I want to give a special shout out to Fire Pro Wrestling out here in Maryville, Indiana. They had a fantastic weekend out here. They had some of the best matches that I've seen them have in the 1 year that I've known that they've been in existence. And I want to give a special shout-out to my little friend Gage. There's this kid. He had to have been about 8 years old at the outside event that we had with Al Snow and Rhino and the Fire Pro guys. And they had cage matches, and they had a whole bunch of other things like that. But I call this kid a super fan. He was so excited. Dreamy, what did you think of little Gage?
He was so excited. He came over. He said this was the best day of his life. We had gave him a T-shirt that was autographed. I had Oscar take the T-shirt back and have Rhino and Al Snow autograph it and Oscar autograph it and some of the other guys from Fire Pro. And he was just so excited. He came over to us and hugged us and thanked us probably a good 10 times before the night was over.
Now I put this kid in the ring, which I wasn't supposed to do. I thought he was going to get in the ring and just take a picture. He started running the ropes like he was CM Punk. I was like, whoa, slow down. I thought the little boy was going to fall through and bust his head on the ground.
Ooh, yeah, that was funny.
But that boy, he had such a good time. All right, in a few minutes we're going to do the WWE report. There's going to be a lot to discuss. We got another guest that's going to be joining us in a few minutes. Joe Bruen is coming on. He's going to recap what happened at New England Fan Fest 4 and give us a preview of New England Fan Fest 5. So, yeah, we got things together for a show tonight. Felix?
Hey, Oscar, I wanted to tell you that I do have another Freeman Foot Care commercial that I uploaded for you guys. We've done. There were 3 recorded, but I do have another one that hasn't been played yet. Before Mimi does the report, with your permission, I'd like to play it for you guys.
Oh yeah, we definitely can play that. We definitely can play the Freeman Foot Care commercial. Our good sponsors, the podiatrist out in Indiana. Yeah, of course. And I know you're dying to play that commercial. So yeah,
it's a lot of fun. I think you guys will get a kick out of it. You just let me know when you're ready.
All right. So, Sir Mo, this past weekend you had a big event on the same day, Saturday as well. How did it go?
Hey, it was beautiful, man. We had 450, 500 people show up, handed out almost 400 backpacks to the local kids. We had a surprise guest that flew in at the last minute, Jarvis Bernardo, who plays for the Philadelphia 76ers, flew in and he spoke to the kids prior to my anti-bullying presentation. And he spoke to him about succeeding even if you fail. He talked about his career as a high school basketball player, not really getting drafted to go to college because of his grades, but knuckling under and taking 2 years of junior college to get his grades right before being recruited to Mississippi State University. After he graduated Mississippi State University, he went on to play ball overseas. This was during the time, they had the NBA lockout, so there was no NBA teams to try out for at the time. And so he went overseas and played ball for a few years. And then he come back to the States, and he walked on and he played in Washington for a little bit, left there, and he went and played down at he played in Boston for a little while. Left Boston and went to Miami for a year. Went to Miami for a year and worked in Miami for a year, and then he left there, and now he's been playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. So, he encouraged the kids that even when you fail, to continue to strive for greatness and have a positive attitude and and treat people right. His motto was treat people right no matter what. And so that part of the event was a surprise, but, a great surprise in itself. And then we went on and did the bully awareness presentation by myself, which consisted of about a 4-minute video of a young lady getting bullied and ended up committing suicide by taking an overdose of pills, which, captivated the audience. And that was a good thing. And then I spoke a little bit about it. And then I spoke highly about parents creating bullies at home by the way that, we talk to our children, because the way we talk to our children at home is the same way they're going to talk to their friends at school. So if you're down on your kids at home, you can expect that your kid is going to go to school, and he's going to down, people in school, because it's just an endless cycle. You got to know how to talk to your kids, and you got to teach your kids how to talk to other people. So the event was successful. We got 2 more coming up next weekend in McKenzie, Tennessee, and in Jackson, Tennessee. And we're hoping for those events to be just as successful.
Well, it is indeed a powerful message that you are getting out there. I want to ask you, what made you? Interview Mo now. What made you start this? I mean, what came to you to get involved in the bullying aspect of our youth today? What prompted you to start it and do it, and why are you so passionate about it?
Well, what's crazy about it is, I started this in 1996, and it really wasn't a big thing. But right after I left WWE, I started an organization known as the Main Foundation, MAIN, and that stands for My Answer Is No. It's what the acronyms are for. And originally it was about no to drugs, no to violence, no to child abuse, and no to unprotected sex. And then on the front of my T-shirt, it says, I am a star in the main event, is what it said. And then years later, Vince McMahon comes out with I am a star, and just, how you get when you like, man, that was my idea. Somebody just
be a star. I was
going
to say, they stole that from you, huh?
Yeah, they just ripped off my idea, and so I got into working at the juvenile group homes and the juvenile prisons, and saw a lot of that bullying and stuff going on there, and that's what kind of spearheaded me into going off doing my own thing. But I added a little wrestling connotation with my presentation, and so I started an organization, and it's called Bully Mania.
Right. Okay. All right. No, I mean, you're doing a great work out there. It's definitely a message that needs to go out. I mean, right now you do it in Tennessee, but if you keep on going and stay the course and don't get discouraged, it's something that, can be done nationwide.
Well,
I got your back.
Well, I mean, not to cut you off, but actually, I got these 3 left here in Tennessee. I've got 1 booked next month in Alabama, and then September the 27th, I'm booked to go to, I want to say somewhere up around Shabokin, Pennsylvania.
Really?
To do, yes. It should be advertised on my Facebook page right now, but I had a promoter from Pennsylvania call me and want me to come up and do my program up there. So September 27th, it's Pottstown, Pennsylvania. September 27th,
yeah.
I'm in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, doing a program up there. So I'm excited. I'm excited, getting quite a few phone calls about it. Life has really changed for me, because actually after I got off the phone with WWE today, this is going to really come as a shock, considering I have a problem with a foul mouth, and I like to curse a little bit, but believe it or not, I just got hired this afternoon to be a youth minister at a church.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Well, okay. We gonna.
Yes.
Why did you laugh, Mimi? I am a very serious, I am a very serious person when I'm not on this radio. I got a totally different persona when I'm not on the radio. Realistically, the radio program, it's for me. It's got to be fun for the people listening. I try to make it fun. I try to be as funny as I possibly can. I'm no Andrew Dice Clay, but outside of that, prior to getting into wrestling in 1990, I was actually a youth pastor in my church.
Okay.
So it is actually something that I have been on the run from for many years, and due to recent events, I'm trying to get my life back together. I'm trying to get back focused on what's important. So my spirituality is very important to me, and that's probably why I stay so grounded through all of the stuff that I've been through. And I look upon it all as that's been my saving grace. Because if I didn't have some of that to lean on, I would be a junkie right now. I'd be smoking so much dope, drinking so much alcohol, it would be unreal. Oscar wouldn't even like me.
I like you now.
Well, I wasn't laughing, though, in a negative light. I was laughing at it like, and that just goes to show what you just said lines up with why I was laughing. My laughter was more like, okay, he got you. And when you said that was something that you've been running from, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly my point.
Yeah, he got me.
Yeah, he got us.
He got me. He got me today.
He got us all. We just have to figure out, and I'm not saying this trying to horn in on your action, but I'm saying this as a friend and a brother and a partner. We just have to figure out how to consolidate and get closer, because this is a lot for you to have on your shoulders. The Lord has been telling me lately that you do need my help and you need me, and we have to figure out, how to do it without it being a burden, on ourselves. But it sounds like something we need to collaborate on and have each other's backs. You planted a lot of seeds, and we both need to get down there together and till this soil. So I got you, bro.
Yeah, I love you, dude. By the way, the position makes me have to remain in Tennessee, too.
Oh, okay. Well, your plans are going to Alabama put on hold right now.
No, they're put on hold permanently. Unless there's a church in Alabama wants me down there. I'm gonna have to follow this one for one.
Well, you're gonna have to go. You have to go where he tell you to go.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna call him Minister Mo from now on. He went from Mo to Minister Mo. All right. It's time for the WWE report. Talk about all things WWE. There's a lot. There's a lot to talk about.
We'll definitely get to the WWE report right after these messages. Hello. I've always wanted to say that.
Okay, so I looked down at my feet and looked at here. My corns have got corns, my blisters have blisters, and my bunions have got bunions. The ugliest thing even I've ever seen. And the swelling. What can I say about the swelling? I went to the beach and I stepped in the sand, and some wise-ass kid wrote Bigfoot was here. They're not even footprints. I've got dinosaur tracks in the sand. I went to my nephew's 8th birthday party, and they thought I had clown shoes. But they weren't clown shoes. They were my bare feet that were that swollen. I go to a podiatrist. He looks down at my feet, and his medical opinion is one word: damn. As he fainted, I left. So I go down to Freeman Foot Care. Dr. Freeman looks at my feet. She gives me the right medication. Now I'm shuffling off to Buffalo. Freeman Foot Care, where the moral is they know what the hell they're doing. Freeman Foot Care, with locations in Griffith, Indiana, and Gary, Indiana. So that guy's an idiot. That guy's an idiot.
He is.
That was awesome. I thought that was really cool.
He must have been having gout or something.
Yeah, gout. Gout or something, gout. All right, WWE Report brought to you by Freeman Foot Care. Dreamy, take it away.
This is your WWE Report for the week of July 20th, 2014. Well, ladies and gents, John Cena has once again come out on top, retaining the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But will Triple H's Plan C be able to bring it back? Plan C, none other than the Paul Heyman guy, the one who broke the streak, Brock Lesnar. It'll be Cena versus Lesnar at SummerSlam for the title. At Battleground, Cameron took the win over Naomi, and the Usos retained the tag team title. Monday Night Raw kicks off with a 2-on-1 match of Kane and Orton against Roman Reigns. With animosity between Kane and Orton, Reigns won the match. In an unexpected match, not really, but Brie Bella was in the building and got into a near scuffle with the spoiled princess herself, Stephanie McMahon. As to Stephanie's surprise, Brie had her arrested for battery. Bray Wyatt is seemingly unstoppable, but only with the family around, as he loses in a one-on-one with Chris Jericho at Battleground. Then retaliates by attacking Jericho with the help of his brethren in the locker room during the Raw pre-show. The Miz was the last man standing in the Battleground Battle Royal and is now the new Intercontinental Champion. Well, the sisterly love between AJ Lee and Paige is over. After they won a tag team match against Natalya and Emma, Paige attacks AJ from behind, leaving AJ badly beaten. Paige mockingly skips out of the arena. Now for WWE behind the scenes. For the last few years, SummerSlam's home has been the Staples Center in Los Angeles, with the fan access site being much of Nokia Plaza, hosting 20,000 strong. The event has been second to Access at WrestleMania. But this year, the Slam Access event has been cut out. In lieu of this, they will be having a SummerSlam panel series at Club Nokia, which only holds a little over 2,000. And finally, with a schedule of roughly 300 days on the road, the reported salary of most WWE talent is $600,000 or less, not including royalties and such. With the exception of John Cena, who earns $3 million, Randy Orton at $2 million, and Brock Lesnar's negotiated deal, which is at $5 million. How many people stop Brock in the hallway to say, "Please, can I have the phone number to your agent?" SummerSlam will be held Sunday, August 17th at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. This WWE report was brought to you by Whitaker & Company, Certified Public Accountants, located in Gary, Indiana, 219-880-0850.
Lord forgive me, but damn. I mean, come on now. You get to sit at home and you get $5 million a year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
I mean, really?
Okay, from what I understand, Phyllis, we got Joe Bruen in the queue. Can we get him in?
I believe that would be him. Let me check and see if that's him. Hold on a second. You guys can go ahead and keep talking.
All right. Okay, yeah, what we have, $5 million for Brock Lesnar. He worked like 3 times a year.
Wow. That's
everybody
incredible.
else worked 300. Everybody works in excess of 300 days.
All right, guys, we've got
a
Joe
year.
Bruen on. Take it away, guys.
Joseph.
What's going on, guys?
Look, how's the family, man?
What's that?
How's the family?
Oh, very good, man. I appreciate it. And you?
Good.
Yeah, everybody's doing well.
Okay?
She's doing very good, thanks. Yeah, she's really improved and should be starting school next year, so things are good. Praise the Lord,
Awesome deal, awesome deal.
All right, so Joe, recap for us. We want to know everything that happened at New England Fan Fest 4. We apologize together that we couldn't make it, but yeah, it just wasn't in the cards financially. But next year we're certainly going to plan better. But I'm sure you had a good time. Now, is it true that your event is shaping up to be the place to be, like the #1 wrestling convention of all wrestling conventions around the world? I read that today.
Well, I mean, it's for New England area. There's nothing else like it, so it's certainly unique and the largest wrestling gathering in New England. I can't say around the world. I mean, there's a lot going on with Legends of the Ring and NWA Fan Fest, but we're certainly doing our thing here in New England, and it just keeps getting bigger each year.
Wow. Okay. So who all did you have this year?
Oh man, it was a who's who. I mean, we had Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, X-Pac was in the house. You had the legendary Four Horsemen manager James J. Dillon. On the super ticket, you had a lot of the divas there: Maxine and Crystal Marshall, Deborah McMichael, Maria Kanellis, whole host of others from announcers. You had Howard Finkel. You had Joey Styles. Some of the old school cats were there. Tony Gurria, the legendary Harley Race, Dory Funk Jr. So I mean, everywhere you look, there was somebody to meet, and certainly a who's who. Mr. USA, Tony Atlas was there. The Godwins, Mark Canterbury, Dennis Knight, John Cena Sr., former WWE announcer and wrestler Matt Stryker. So really just a great... Yeah, Virgil was there in the house. It wouldn't be a convention without Virgil, right?
No, Virgil's at every event, whether he's invited or not. So you ain't even got to ask if Virgil showed up, because Virgil comes.
I mean, they don't even have to be open for business. Virgil will still be there.
No, exactly. Virgil's going to be the first one there and the last one to leave.
Yeah. Sounds like
Virgil showed up at the hotel. Virgil show at the hotel is set up even if there's not a convention going on.
Right.
Yeah.
But it really was a special weekend. I had a great time, and it was successful, so no complaints on my part. And, we kicked it off with a VIP dinner for 15 lucky fans, and that was on Friday evening. And we had Q&A sessions hosted by Howard Finkel. There was, of course, the Hall of Fame ceremony, the 8th annual induction ceremony, and that was in the evening to close everything out, and, of course, the convention of the day. So it was really a special day.
Now, what are some of the preemptive plans for New England Fan Fest 5?
Man, it's tough. I can't say much because the contracts and everything, but I can guarantee it's going to be bigger than any Fan Fest we've ever done. It's going to be the biggest thing that you will see in New England wrestling-related. I can't say where, but August 1st we will be announcing the location as well as the date. I can confirm that it will be next June 2015 on a Saturday. But if you go to our brand new website, www.newenglandfanfest.com, you check it out on August 1st, and we'll have the date, we'll have the location announced, and we'll start to roll out the red carpet of announcements as far as super ticket and vendor guests go. But it's going to be really something special, more so than we've ever done before. I mean, you name it. There'll be a VIP dinner. There'll be a breakfast. There'll be Q&A sessions, Hall of Fame ceremony, possibly a live wrestling show. You name it, a full weekend of events.
Wow.
And you can't tell us where.
I've always wondered, though, Joe, just a question. I've always wondered why in the past you didn't include a live show. I mean, considering you already had all that talent there, and of course, somebody's gonna ride your coattail off of it, and try to throw one somewhere nearby, and take advantage of all that talent being in the area. I always wonder why you never bothered to capitalize on that part of it.
Well, without a doubt. There's always wrestling shows tied in throughout the weekend elsewhere, like you said.
Yeah.
But we try to add something every year, and I want to do things right. I don't want to jump the gun, per se. So it takes a lot of work, and I'm the only one running things, so it's not like I have a whole crew of people doing this. So each year we try to add something. Whether, one year we added the Hall of Fame ceremony, we continue it on every year. The VIP dinner we added last year. And we just keep moving forward with special events. This year happened to be just a brand new, huge venue in comparison to anything else we've ever done. So we're taking steps, and just don't want to, overstep my allowances. But that has been the number one question all these years. Fans have always asked, is there going to be a wrestling show? So that's certainly the next step for us, and hopefully we could tie it in next year.
No, the point that he's trying to make is this. It's the fact that when you have the event, somebody else always runs a wrestling show, and they're basically making money off of you. You brought all the talent in. The talent is there already. So what they do is they advantageously take advantage and run a show that night somewhere across town using guys that you paid the money to bring in, put up, and all that. So what I'm saying is get some extra help and then strategically beat a guy. I mean, because the money is yours. Somebody else is just getting it. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
Tie everything in together.
Right. Yeah, it's all about sponsorships. I mean, a lot of people that I think don't realize how much it takes to run the Fan Fest. It takes a full year of preparation with the dinner and everything else that goes along with it. So the finances, obviously, are
right.
Yeah.
I got you.
They're extraordinary. So, to even, it looks simple on paper to add a wrestling show, but you got to get the ring, you got to get the insurance, you got to get the extra room or the venue, whatever it may be. You got to pay all the boys. And,
that's understandable.
Yeah,
I got a ring. I got insurance.
You got a ring, you got insurance.
I just want to throw that in there.
All right, okay. You can get that done.
But go ahead, Oscar.
Because the hotel where you had it at, I mean, it's already made. You have the Fan Fest in one room. Either clear that out and set the ring up and run a show, or run a show across the hall of the room just as big or bigger. Compartmentalize everything, and then you get all the money.
Right. That's true. It is true.
And I understand about being a one-man show. It's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah, and to think, I started at a Portuguese club with 40 people, and it just grew and grew every year. The Seaport Inn last year in Fairhaven was jam-packed, and now, this year at the Crown Plaza, another great crowd on hand, so it just keeps getting bigger and better.
Good.
So, by the time you have New England by the time you have Fan Fest 10, you're gonna be rivaling a WWE event. So you just keep on pushing, my man. We are proud of you, proud to know you, proud to be a part of things that you're doing, and you are definitely our brother. Say hi to the family, get you some rest, because I know you got things to do tomorrow, and we're gonna talk to you real soon. And thank you for coming on, because you did pinch hit for Justin Incredible, who we gonna slap him upside his head when we find him. So you did pinch hit for us tonight. We appreciate it.
Nice. Well, it's my pleasure always to be here, and I really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys.
God bless you,
we're sorry to keep you waiting so long. From now on, we won't be doing that no more, because you're like royalty. I didn't mean to have you in queue so long.
No,
thanks a lot,
no
Joe.
problem.
You have a good night.
All right, thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, you too.
Be safe.
Oscar.
Yes, sir.
You run people in and out like this is a whorehouse or something.
Well, I'm respectful of people's time. See, Jesse Hernandez already told me he only had 10 minutes because he was talking as he was running his school. Joe Bruen gets up like just incredible at 5 a.m. to go to work in the morning. And these people kind of pinch hit for us because they weren't scheduled. So you back the hell off.
All right, my bad, man, my bad.
I got to go to work, provide to go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. You be on here by yourself because I'll be gone.
Oh, my Jesus.
The only reason I'm still on is because I don't go to work tomorrow till 1 o'clock. So I'm wired. I can stay up and talk. All right, let's break down WWE report that Dreamy just gave us. First off, Dreamy, let me ask you, you saw Raw, did they just throw this one together?
You know what? This one, it wasn't as exciting, but one of the things, I think what they tried to do was build off of or go off of the fact of, I guess they thought it was supposed to be exciting because they had Flo Rida coming in, and that's what they plugged, and that was supposed to be the big thing for the night. But I agree with what Jesse Hernandez was saying about it being too Hollywood and they needing to get back to wrestling. Because what the heck does Flo Rida coming in and giving a concert have to do with wrestling? I want to watch Monday Night Raw. I don't want to watch Flo Rida.
Right.
So anyway, I had to cut it off past that part. I was just annoyed. But as far as I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask you, do you think that was just about ratings?
Probably about ratings, and I really don't know.
The only time they used to do stuff like that, they brought artists in to perform, was during WrestleMania. I mean,
right.
That was
generally. That's like the Super Bowl. You know? So it's that's understandable.
All right, now, Mo, Stephanie McMahon getting arrested, was that a work because they was saying something about Triple H had to go get out of jail and she got to go back to court? Was that a work or what happened?
Man, you know all that stuff in the work.
Okay.
I mean,
I didn't see it, so I don't know. I just read what I read.
Well, here's the thing. I try best I can. You know, even on the radio program, I try best I can to try to keep up with the traditions of the business and not overly expose anything. But you know, it's been done so much, man. It's just so unbelievable. You know, it's just so unbelievable. Because think about this. If you get arrested for anything, right, I don't care what it is, if you get arrested for anything in real life, the last thing you're going to do is talk about it on television.
Right.
You know, not to mention, you see, that's a national television program. The number one indication to the fans that it's not real is she was not a criminal. She was not a danger to society. So therefore, just out of common courtesy for the company itself, even the local police would have waited until they were off the air or until she's in the back of the arena or something to serve her.
Yep.
They wouldn't have done that on national television. You know, they wouldn't have done that. You know, they didn't try to serve Bernie Madoff on national television. You know what I mean?
They tried.
It just so happens that the news with the news, it's totally different. We're talking about in a private building. It's not, you know, I mean, in this private facility. You know what I mean? They would have waited and got her backstage. You know, come on, man. You ever seen the police go on stage and arrest a rap artist for DUI or for an assault unless he's being lewd and lascivious on stage? No.
No, of course not. They do it backstage in the dressing room.
No. It's just that, like Mimi said, they need to get back to wrestling. All of that Hollywood stuff is not selling tickets, man. It's not selling tickets, and it's definitely not pushing people's interest toward the network, which is killing them right now.
Right.
It's killing them. I mean, if it wasn't killing them, you know, they're offering 2 free weeks, 2-week free preview of the network right now, and you don't even have to show a credit card to preview it for 2 weeks right now.
I'm going to go back to what Bruce Hart said when he said it's insulting the fans' intelligence. Because to think that this stuff is entertaining and like all of that nonsense with Sandow, it's just like, come on, please. I want to watch a wrestling show. Not all this garbage.
All right, guys, let me check this out. Are they in danger of losing their core audience if they don't turn things around real soon?
To be honest with you, I think they've lost their core audience.
Mm-hmm.
I think that real wrestling fans are looking for an alternative.
Oh, real wrestling fans are gone.
Well, look, let me tell you something. Have you looked at some of the turnouts of some of the independent shows here recently around the country? You know, the independent business is booming right now.
Yeah.
You know, they're drawing 5,000, 6,000, 1,200. You know, they're drawing houses like that on the indies right now, dude, because people want to see wrestling. They don't want to see all of that other stuff, man.
Okay.
They don't want to see all. I mean, if you look at Ring of Honor, if you look at some of the let's just use the Fan Fest as an example. Look how many people flock to those things, and look how many people are doing them now. You know, they're making more money doing events like that, man, than they are doing live wrestling shows where people just get to go meet the superstar. They don't even have to perform anymore. Just go meet them, take a picture, talk to them. And these guys are making, tons of dollars doing that, man.
No, it is a very lucrative business to do a fan fest, to be a part of one, and all that other kind of thing. And the guy that promotes it, selling the pictures and the gimmicks for the superstars to sign and the wrestlers to sign, I mean, those guys are cleaning up. That's why Joe Bruen has such a, it's a lucrative business for people like him. I mean, it really is. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like personally, I'm just missing the boat on so many things right in front of me till I just got to get it in gear, because I'm watching all these people make all this money on things that we know how to do, probably even better. We just not doing it.
Well, I'm going to need you to get it in gear quick.
Well,
I'm going to get it in gear.
Here's what I've learned. Here's what I've learned from promoting events, man. It is real easy to draw money and make money. You have to do three things. Number one thing is you don't want to overbook the event. In other words, you don't need 50 different names.
No, you only need like one.
You don't need. But what you need to do more than anything is you need to promote wrestling. In most cases, it doesn't even matter who's on the show. In most cases, what mostly matters is how many people know about it.
Yep.
You're going to draw more. You're going to draw more fans. Right. You're going to draw. So, in this perspective, instead of spending $2,000 flying in a guy and giving him a payoff and paying for his meals and paying for a hotel, right? Instead of doing that, get the most well-known guy you know in the area. Put him on top of the show. Take $1,000 instead of the $2,000 that you're gonna pay on this name, and spend that $1,000 strictly on advertisement, just on radio, TV, poster, just so people know about it. 3 counties over. Wrestling fans, like Mimi said, want to see wrestling.
And I think
yes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I think to the question that Oscar asked about them losing their core audience, I think the WWE Network is evidence of that. I mean, because so many people have gotten away from it, and it's like, okay, I'm not really watching it like that anymore. I'm not interested in it. There ain't nobody. The amount of people that they were looking for to sign up aren't interested.
Right. Yeah, and you know, here's the thing, man. Most of the people that's on the network are not today's wrestling fans.
Right.
They're not today's wrestling fans. They are wrestling fans from the 90s, you know, and the 80s and the 70s. And those people are on the network so they can go back and not have to look at today's bullshit, and they can go back and live in their memory of how it used to be in the past by looking back at the old stuff. That's what they would have been better off leaving the network alone, leaving the network, not even starting up the network, and they would have been better off offering all of that old school stuff on a per download price basis. You know what I mean? If you want to see 1980s Memphis wrestling, you know, you can go through the library and you could download this match for 99 cents or $1, whatever. But the bottom line is, if you get 1 million people downloading 5 or 6 different, you know, shows, matches, or whatever, you're making more money than you're trying to get 1 million people to pay you $9 a month to watch a bunch of stuff that they don't care about anyway. You know?
Yep.
I mean, because the library is so big, you still would have came out and made that money. I mean, you had to price it, you know, $9-10. You had to do that. You know, you want to watch WrestleMania 3, $1.99. Download it to your MP3 player, but you got to pay for it. You know, how many people want to see, you know, the rematch between Hogan and Andre from years ago? A ton of people that don't have it or that want it in their collection, so they're going to pay the $1.99 to download it, even if it's just to put it on disc one time. You know, and then if there's something else, they got to go right back to it. But
okay, now is it a mistake? Is it a mistake from a revenue standpoint for them to have the network and offer all the pay-per-views on the network for that $9.99 a month deal they got going on, or was it better off with the pay-per-view situation?
No, of course it is. Of course it's a mistake, but see, they were looking at it from this standpoint. I'm sitting at home, the fan is sitting at home, and WrestleMania alone is about $60.
Right.
So by the time you throw in WrestleMania and all the other pay-per-views, as much as they're priced, you know what I mean? You're saying to yourself, you know what? I like watching the pay-per-views, but I can't watch them every month because they're priced, so I'm going to have to get 1 or 2 a year. Okay? So in their brain, instead of somebody getting 1 or 2 pay-per-views a year, let's entice them to pay $10 a month no matter what. That way we're getting everybody's $10 every month no matter what by offering these pay-per-views for free. That was their hook. The hook was not the old stuff, not the Legends House. The hook was you get all 12 pay-per-views for that one price for free, $9 a month. That was the hook.
I understood what it was they were trying to do, and I mean these little kids came up to me, and these little kids that you would think wrestling fans are fans today, and they actually said that they saw me on the network in a match that we had with Bam Bam Bigelow, and I mean it was shocking that these little 5-year-old kids, you know, came and mentioned that, and I knew they didn't mistake me for somebody else, because when I was like, they got me mixed up again, and they was like, no, you were with Bam Bam Bigelow. When they said Bam Bam Bigelow, who Bam Bam Bigelow been dead and gone for some years now, and who has been off TV as long as I've been off TV, I mean, yeah, they really saw it. So for us alumni, us old schoolers, the network is doing some good and giving us some visibility. So to that part of it, I'm grateful personally. For me, it's a great thing.
Well, I'm not saying that the network is a bad thing for us from a visible standpoint, but let me tell you something about that visibility. Number one, it's not making the phone ring off the hook to get us any extra booking. Number one.
No, you're right. It's not.
Number one. Number two, they've used that network, right? They've used that network, which kills video sales, which takes away from royalties, which, every blue moon, it was nice to get that unexpected check.
Yeah.
Plus that network has caused them so much trouble and loss of revenue that in the end it's only going to hurt everybody. In the end, it's only going to hurt everybody. My opinion.
So do they scrap the network, or do they just keep on going with it?
Well, if it was me, and maybe it's just too early for them to make that decision, because they were trying to give it, the end of 2014 to get up to at least a million people, and they was hoping by mid-2015 to be up to 2 million people. That's where it's going to start showing a profit. It takes 1 million prescribers just to break even.
Right.
And bro, we're going into the 8th month, and we're not getting there. We're not getting there.
All right. Shifting gears and
talking with all the budget cuts.
Shifting gears and talking talent contracts for a few minutes. Dreamy reported, and she gets her information off the WWE app. Now, they were talking about John Cena's reported $3 million. His salary is $3 million a year, and Randy Orton's $2 million. But they say the average talent is about $600,000. That's what they reporting on the app. Are those numbers exaggerated? I can't help but think they are. What do you think?
I doubt it, because you got to understand, number one, it's a publicly traded company right now, and those salaries is public knowledge. It ain't something they can keep secret anymore, because they don't just own that company. If you own one share of WWE, you have a right to know what every single body in that company is getting paid.
Okay.
As a shareholder. It's not like you can just, you know what I mean? That information, if they don't put out true information, you know what I'm saying? They can set themselves up for failure when it comes to that stock exchange. And I don't think they want to do that. They are a publicly traded company. All of that information is no longer private. You know what I mean? Just like in the past, contracts used to be totally private. You couldn't even show them to anybody. It's not that way anymore. That's not proprietary information anymore. You know what I mean? When you're a publicly traded company, you got to have walls of glass, buddy. You have to have walls of glass in a lot of things.
Oh, well, if those salaries... No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you don't have to divulge trade secrets, but, something like that, yeah. Because shareholders have a right to know.
Yeah, well, the salaries they divulged, if those are indicative of what people are being paid, as a guy like me, I'm just a little bit pissed off right now because...
Here's the thing, man. What happened was the Monday Night War started that. Okay? The Monday Night War started all of that with the money. So it kind of forced Vince into having to pay guaranteed amounts of money to keep guys there, to keep from going to WCW. So then, when he ended up buying WCW, a lot of the talent there already had contracts. They already had people that negotiated for them, and they weren't going to come and go to WWE, even though WCW was out of business, for, that open contract that Vince used to have. These people wanted guaranteed money. Trust me, people like Jericho don't leave and come back and leave and come back
and not get more money when they come back. You know,
well, what is that? What does it say to the talent roster as a whole that everybody's on the road 250, 300 days a year, and then Brock Lesnar comes in for a weekend and gets more money than everybody?
Here's what it says. It says, number one, that Brock Lesnar is smart. Number two, Brock Lesnar made a name for himself before he left that company and after he left that company. Dude, you're talking to it's like what you're saying is, what you're not looking at is even The Rock, for example. The Rock might have left there making $800,000 a year. This is just an example. But here's the deal. If you want Rock to take time out of his busy movie schedule to come and work WrestleMania, and this last movie he just done with Hercules, you know, he signed to do Hercules for $12 million, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to come and do WrestleMania for less than $5 million or $10 million?
No, I wouldn't. No,
right.
Of course not.
Well, all of that, even though they're doing 300 days a year, a lot of those guys don't have the time in, and they don't have the marketability or the value of somebody like Brock. If they did, they would make more money, because then they would be able to stand up and say, you know what, I want a raise, and if I don't get it, I'm leaving. And if they're that important to the company, they will get the money that they ask for. Trust me, man. If Taker said to them one time, look, I'm done. You know, I need about a 10% raise, or I'm just going to have to go ahead and walk away. Do you think they won't find that 10%?
Yeah, they definitely going to find the 10% when it comes down to him, because he's a hot commodity.
Right. If John Cena's contract came up due at the end of this year and he says he wants $1 million a year raise, do you not think they're going to find that $1 million? They're going to find it. Because his just merchandise alone, he's worth that extra $1 million a year.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. I mean, I could be mad, you could be mad to think about that, to think about, you know, how Brock Lesnar is working that schedule, but he's getting that kind of money. But, you know, how many people can say they, number one, was one of the youngest world champions, WWE champions of all time, number one. Number two, you know, with his college background and everything, and then left there and went on to become a UFC Ultimate Fighting Champion. And then the only reason he really had to quit that was from that illness, which with that illness, you know, it's like any other illness that we have in wrestling. With wrestling, we could do whatever with shit. I wrestle with a broke leg. You know, I wrestle every night, even though I'm on dialysis 3 days a week. So with wrestling, the way wrestling is, you can still do it, and you can still be sick, and you can still be hurt, and you can do it. You can't go in a cage with somebody, you know, and take a chance of breaking your arm or something when you're sick. But he built a name for himself. So, yeah, guys can be mad about that, but, you know, if they ain't made a name for themselves to that extent, you know, who's going to be mad about it?
While I'm picking your brain, I want to shift gears for a second. Back to the Fire Pro Wrestling show that I saw on Saturday. I want to ask your expertise about this. They had a cage set up, and they had 3 cage matches. For an independent show, 3 cage matches, is that too many?
It is. Anything over 1 is too many.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. They had 3 cage matches, and by the time the second match, halfway through, even I was all caged out. Now, the other part that bothered me was they had Rhino and Al Snow on the show. They built it up, you know, pretty much what the fans came to see. Yeah, they was in the ring. Their match was the main event, the last match, and it lasted all of 6 minutes. I can't say that the fans were cheated because they only charged the people $1, but that's not the point. the point is that with them in that main event, and they gave it to the fans, even if they gave it to them for free, should they have not put on a better show than that? 6 minutes. I mean, come on, and I'm not even exaggerating.
No, of course they should have. Of course they should have. But we're here's who I blame. I blame the wrestlers, man. I don't blame the promoter. I blame the wrestlers. Because here's the thing, man. As a worker, you're supposed to have this kind of mentality. Whether there's one person in the audience or 20,000 people in the audience, they should still get the same treatment. They should get the same.
It wasn't even a matter. It wasn't even a matter of the crowd.
I know it's not about the crowd. What I'm saying is they should get the same treatment. The way they would have worked if there was 20,000 people out there, you know what I mean, if they were working for Vince McMahon or anybody else, those fans, whether they paid 50 cents for it or $1 for it, they were fans and they were there to see wrestling. They should have been treated as such. 6 minutes is ridiculous.
Well, that's what they did, and that's what they gave them. I mean, I'm not going to say that wasn't a good show, a good event, a good night out, all for a good cause, but those two factors alone bother me. Now, the other thing is, the night before, their world title was up for grabs, and they were having a 20-man battle royal to determine who the champion. They had that match first. Was that wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, here's the thing. Bottom line is this right here. Anytime you promote a wrestling show, man, the show is supposed to be designed a certain way. It's supposed to build from the first match to the last match.
Right.
The whole idea of having 3 cage matches before the main event is not in a cage.
Yeah, the main event was in a cage, but they had the cage set up, and they had 2 cage matches before the main event. That's way too many.
Of course. Then what the hell is the object of having a cage match? In the past, and Vince can change this, and I don't know if indie shows do this way, but Vince can change the whole idea of a cage. To win a cage match, you got to be the first one out the door or the first one over the top.
Right.
Right? In the past, a cage match was you got to beat your opponent. That cage is to make sure that your opponent can't run away and get disqualified. And it was more about selling issues between two people. You're going to go in the ring, you're going to go inside that cage, and this issue's going to get settled. We're going to beat the dog snot out of each other till one of us almost dies to settle this issue, and there's nowhere you can go. You can't climb over the top. You can't go out the door. You have to stay in here and get beat, and that's what. And that ended issues. That was the end all, the end all. That's why you had cage matches. You don't just have a cage match just because you want to throw 2 people in a cage. That makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah,
just
we have
2 people in the cage.
We have a real issue, and I'll say it publicly. Fire Pro is a great organization run by a great man, Pastor Bob. They have a great stable of talent. The talent is very, very good, but the guy who books the shows, real talented wrestler, not taking anything from him, but he still doesn't have a grasp on the pecking order of matches, how to book a match, how to write a storyline, keep a storyline going, and what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And that's just what bothers me when I'm looking at it. And he used to ask me things, my advice, and my mentor, and I used to tell him things, but he never used to do what I would suggest. And so I really got tired of dealing with it from that perspective. I mean, why ask me if you're not going to listen? And he don't listen to nobody. And the fact that they do a show monthly. They draw about 100 people a month at the church. They drew a few hundred out there at the outside event the other night. But I mean, the guy, with that kind of limited success or whatever he's having, his idea of success, the guy thinks he's Triple H now. So I mean, when you got somebody with that mentality, you can't talk to him.
Right. And you shouldn't try.
No, I stopped trying a long time ago, bro.
I understand. I'm just saying, it's just some people it's not even worth wasting your breath.
No, I mean, hey, I gave it a shot. It is what it is, and it turns out the way it turns out. I mean, they just find themselves doing the same thing every month, and Godspeed, God bless them. I continue to wish them well.
They've been in business how long? Pastor Bob say they've been in business?
7 years.
7 years, and they draw how many people per month?
They draw about 100 a month there at the church.
Well, if you've been in business 7 years and you're drawing about 100 people a month, that in itself should tell you you're doing something wrong. Seriously.
Yeah, it's the same 100 people every month.
Yeah, that in itself should tell you you're doing something wrong.
Well, he said something really disturbing when you asked him, Mimi, why he didn't make an announcement the other night. What did he tell you his reasoning was? He told you about people not wanting to drive 20 minutes okay, what did he say?
Oh, yeah, he was saying that the area that we in wasn't their target audience because people are they going to drive 20 minutes for a wrestling show? I don't know.
Come on.
Yeah.
Quite a few people drive more than 20 minutes for a wrestling show.
People drive hours for a wrestling show.
Look, man, if you advertise wrestling in 3 counties, and the show is in the central of the 3 counties, wrestling fans from all 3 counties, if you got something on that show that they want to see, they're going to drive to see that show. That makes absolutely no sense to say, well, I'm not going to announce it. Even if you only got 10 people to come from that 20 minutes away, that's 10 more tickets that you sold.
Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense to run an event somewhere and then have another one coming up that's close to that location and not announce it there.
Now, they have their regular show on Saturday night, and then they have the special event, which was a charity event, on Sunday. Now, the event that they did was a charity event. It was outdoors, and it wasn't the 100 people that they normally draw. Now, this is just one county over. It was maybe 20 minutes or so away. And, I mean, it was probably about 300-400 people out there that don't come to there and don't even know about the show that they run every month. So that was like 300-400 opportunities to get new, people coming in to view your show.
Right. And you should take that opportunity. You should take that.
Well,
that in itself shows that, you've been in business for 7 years, and if you're not drawing 100 people, that means that, honestly, Lord forgive me, I'm not talking bad about it, but that means that somebody don't know what they're doing. Just because you've been in business 7 years doesn't mean you know what you're doing, especially if you're only drawing 100 people.
And it's a waste. They have very good talent. They have a good setup. And don't get me wrong, when it comes down to doing the show, they know how to do it. They have a world-class ring. They have a decent ring. They have lights. They have the video screen when the wrestlers come out. It's on a small scale. They got the gorilla position. They got everything you need to do a good production. So why they don't try to do it on a larger scale or draw more fans is baffling.
Right.
They didn't get comfortable with that 100 fans that they have every month and think that that's it.
Right.
I don't think that they even realize the potential that they have, and especially dealing with the guy that's over it, like I tease you, he think he know everything. So you can't tell them anything. So they're going to continue to run the same program and the same 100 people every month.
Of course.
Until someone else is over it.
No, or until somebody else move in the area and open a promotion with some bigger and better ideas than what they got. They're gonna steal their fans, their workers, and wrestlers, and then some. That's where this is going.
Yep.
Right. Right now they don't have no competition, do they?
No.
And that's why they've been there 7 years, and that's why they're complacent with that 100 people. Because they don't have no competition. If they had competition, that 100 people dwindled to 20 or to 40 because somebody else across town is doing a better show. Then they would understand, okay, we got to work harder. We got to work harder. Maybe they're just running off word of mouth right now and not trying to increase the advertisement or whatever.
But even with that, even with running off word of mouth, I mean, if you got the same 100 people every month, those same one, I mean, for 7 years, come on now, word of mouth, you're going to get some new people somewhere in there.
Yeah, unless those 100 people are not talking about anything.
Right. But, I mean, because they go out, they put out flyers on people's cars and stuff like that. But,
yeah.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll stay tuned and keep monitoring Fire Pro's goings-on and their success. And then we're going to keep it going. It's something. All right, so upcoming shows that we're going to have, I spoke to Al Snow. We're looking to have him on next week. We'll confirm that on through our postings on Facebook and Twitter this week. I heard from Leilani Kai today. We're going to get her on next month. Looking forward to that. I'm sure she's got a lot of history. I like to ask the OG females, if you will. I like to ask them what they think of the Divas division. They have a lot to say. I'm sure we could track down Sunny and get her still for a few minutes. I'm sure she'd have some interesting things to say. I'm definitely going to try to make that happen, but that's just a little bit tricky. On the wish list, Mo, so we'll know where we're going, who would you like to see on the program to talk to? Who is your dream, your dream people?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Man, you talking to my dream person.
Oh, you?
You talk to her every night, Mimi.
Dream? Oh, Mimi. Okay, yeah, Mimi, who would you like to see? Okay. Tell us who you would like to see on the show, Mimi. I'm dying to hear this.
Honestly,
some people that's relevant.
You know what? After our conversation the other night, I understood exactly what you were saying about the people that have been in the business a long time have something to say, and the people that are in the still under contract can't give a good interview because, first of all, they can't be honest and open about whatever they want to talk about. So I completely understand that, and I agree with you on that. Why are you trying to put me out there? So no, there's no one that I can think of, on the just out on TV right now that I would want to hear from, because all I'm gonna hear is what they say on Raw or SmackDown every week.
Right.
Yes.
Nobody's gonna be open and honest, man.
No, they can't.
So you're gonna find it very hard to get somebody that's gonna be 100% open and honest about their true feelings about the business today. About the fact of WWE. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm still gonna call every week begging for a job. But I'm still gonna say this. Look, the problem with a lot of these people, and I just say a lot of these people without calling names or saying wrestlers or whatever. The problem is with a lot of these people is they're afraid to eat bologna and cheese. And when I say that, somewhere in the back of their mind, you know, they're going to get that shot again. They're going to get one more run, you know, somewhere in the back of their mind. And because in the back of their mind somewhere, they're going to get that one more run. You know, they're going to try to be PC until they make it up into their mind that they're not going to get that run anymore, and then they'll talk. You know, nobody wants to come on the radio. Nobody wants to go publicly and blast the company or no one individual because they're still hoping, well, maybe I can get a job as a trainer, as an agent, you know, maybe get a couple TV spots so I can get that payday. You know, because a lot of them don't want to work a 9-to-5 job. You know, and you got to remember this too. Most of your old timers, man, they've been in this business since they was 12 and 13 years old. So this is all they know. They don't have any other type of skills to fall back on. You know, it ain't like they can go put on a shirt and tie and go sit up and do an office job or whatever. You know, it's easy for somebody that's been on the road wrestling to go drive a truck. You know, they used to being on the road, but driving a truck is probably about the closest to being on the road that they'll ever get. You know, and I know because I went and drove a truck, and it was easy work. Why? Because I'm used to driving the road. So, I mean, that's why you're not going to get anybody to come on the radio and just be honest. So when you ask them questions, you have to be very careful about the questions you ask. You know, your questions can't be loaded. You know, get somebody on there and say, so, well, won't you give me your honest opinion about Vince McMahon? You know, you're not going to ask them that question. You might say, so tell me what you think about the state of the show, the product today in WWE. You know, realistically, what you really are saying is, you know, do you think Vince know what the hell he's doing now? You know, without coming out asking that question in that manner, but that's what you're asking when you're asking about the state of WWE and the network or whatever, because everybody knows nothing is done without Vince's prior approval. It doesn't matter if Triple H is in charge or not. Vince still gets to find a yay or nay, you know, so ask the question. You know, what the heck is Vince doing? You know, because he gets to find a name. It's like a ship. You know, you got a captain of the ship, and then you got somebody that's under him that's steering it. You know, James T. Kirk ain't sitting at the controls. James T. Kirk is sitting in the chair behind the guy that's sitting behind Mr. Sulu and Mr. Chekhov.
That's right.
And he's saying, you know, 1/4 impulse power. They driving it. You know what I mean? They driving the ship. So Vince is sitting in the James Kirk position. You know, and Triple H is Mr. Sulu right now, or Mr. Chekhov. You know, and Vince is saying, okay, go ahead, and they're going where he's telling them to go. Because
I can assure you, he's still telling them to.
Of course, whatever ideas they come up with, he's got to okay before he goes on the air. It just you know, because he's not ready to just give up full control. He's not. You can always tell that. You can tell that.
Yeah, Vince is not going to give up full control until he is dead in his grave.
No. I mean, Felix, you've been doing this a long time, right?
Doing the podcasting? Yes, sir, I have.
Yeah, okay. And you've talked to a bunch of people. You know, you talked to Bruno you talked to San Martino last year, right?
Yep, and I had Booker on just last night. Booker T.
Okay. Now, how much negativity about the company did you get out of either of those two?
To be honest, Bruno was not really shy about talking about his displeasure for what WWE did during the Attitude Era and the vulgarity and the sexuality. He wasn't shy about talking about the fact that he quit watching for about 20-plus years and really didn't associate with anybody. You know, he's mentioned this several times. And as far as Booker goes, well, let's just put it this way. He's more into his reality of wrestling that he has out of Houston. Right. Don't get me wrong, he loves what he does, and he's not going to say anything negative about them because he's working with them. But his love, his passion is all in his reality of wrestling because he's working with his wife, he's working with his brother Stevie, and you know he's loving it, and he's giving back, and that's what's really it really means a lot to him.
Right. I can talk about my displeasure of the product in 1993, 94, 95. You know, I can talk about how in 2014 I don't really want to watch it because it's too much show, too much cartoon, and it's not like it used to be in the old days when, you know, we had to really get in there and tough it out, and we didn't have all the naked women and this, that, and the other. But, you know, but I would be remiss to say that, you know, anything about all the homosexuality going on, all the racial stuff going on, how we kept all the niggas out of there or kept them from getting any kind of a push and this, that, and the other. I can really get nasty with it, you know, if I got nasty with it. But I can still stay politically correct by saying, you know what, I really didn't like all the vulgarity that they did, you know, because all that's saying is I'm glad that they're doing PG-13 now.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's still sugarcoating it. You know, no, I don't watch the program. I mean, Bruce Hart will tell you the same thing. He don't really care for the product now because they've gotten away from wrestling and it's all Hollywood and this, that, and the other. No. I can say it that way, but if I didn't want to say it PC would be, you know what, I don't like the product now because I think they just kind of got away from the tradition and the guys don't use no psychology in the ring and then they run 100 miles per hour and they don't tell no stories. Or, not being PC, I can say, you know what, half of the matches freaking suck. You know, because all these guys want to do is do 50 different moves off the top rope, flying over here and over there. Don't make no sense whatsoever. You know, whoever's writing this stuff, it's got to be an ultra idiot, you know, to write some of the stuff. Got this little bull running around poking people in the ass with a little homemade horn. You know, look like a little. I mean, come on, man. You can still in your words and in your conversation be PC and not bury the company. But ask somebody the 100% gospel truth about the company, about the business, about how people are treated backstage, and if they're willing to be honest and tell you, yep, you know what, back in the 70s and the 80s when I worked for WCW or Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling for the Crockett's, we did everything in our power to keep certain people down. We made certain that Rufus off Freight Train Jones' black ass never won a world title. or we made certain that, you know, Barry Windham. We made certain that Barry Windham didn't get to take that title, that world title from Ric Flair. You know, that's the kind of stuff that I think of when I think of people being honest about the business. But when you sit here and you lay that bull crap on, you know, I really stopped watching because I got tired of lips falling out the outfits and, you know, all the TNA. Man, that's still being PC. Don't be PC about it. You know, just say, hey, Brooklyn Brawler's had a job for 30 years in WWE because, you know, there's a different side to him. You know, he's got a little sugar in his tank. You know, say what it is. Don't Don't say he's been there for this long because he's a great worker and, great politician. And no, he's a great gopher and he's gay.
Oh, you opened the show up talking about you calling every week to get a job. Now you killing it. I know. I mean, because if the app pick up these comments,
yeah, but my point in saying all that is, it wasn't taking a shot at the company. My point in saying all that is, these people coming to this podcast are not, I don't care who it is, are not going to tell the truth. They're not going to say how it really is. That was my point. I was just saying it to prove a point that they're not going to come on here and tell how it really is, man. They're not. I mean, tell me why Skip Young didn't win the world title, and he was supposed to. Everybody scratching their head. Who the hell was Skip Young?
Yeah, who the hell was Skip Young?
Sweet Brown Sugar.
Oh, man, you going way back. Yeah, why didn't he?
Right. And Sweet Brown Sugar was supposed to win the world title against Ric Flair.
Yeah. The same reason why you didn't win the title at Madison Square Garden.
But that's the point. Nobody's going to come on here and tell the truth about that. That was my point in saying that. That was my point in backing on what Mimi said. Nobody's going to come on here, and tell the story that you want to put out there all over the net and be like, man, last night on Pipe Bun Radio, so-and-so such and such said that they caught these two people in the dressing room having sex. And then by the time they throw out the two names, make everybody be like, really? For real? I want to hear that.
All right, now next week when you call up there and Krista don't even take your phone call, you're gonna know it was because of this interview, right?
But guess what, bro? Guess what? I'm not afraid to eat bologna and cheese sandwiches. That's my point. I'm not afraid to get a 9-to-5 job. Yeah, I call up there, and I jokingly say, I'm begging. I'm not begging. I'm not begging. I'm not gonna get on my knees. I'm not gonna kiss anybody's ass. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking. That even on these radio broadcasts, man, nobody's gonna come in here and be 100% honest.
No, they're not.
There's too many people, too many stories, man, that can be told that ain't being told. And you can have whoever you want to. Like my man said, Felix said, Booker T, all he really wanted to talk about was his wrestling reality show. But I bet if he wasn't working for Vince anymore, knew that he was done for good with Vince, and wasn't trying to be PC, I bet he could tell you some serious stories, man.
Oh, I'm sure he could.
Right, and that's what I'm talking about. That's all I was alluding to, is that nobody's going to come on these radio broadcasts and just be 100% open and honest. That's why you ask loaded questions.
Well,
that's why you ask questions. That's why you ask questions that you really don't want the answer to certain questions. And that's why you ask those questions instead of asking the question you really want to ask. Like Kevin Nash.
I'm gonna tell you who. I'm gonna tell you who did
while we working there.
I'm gonna tell you who did, and then it sparked somewhat of a controversy. I don't know whether it was on Felix's show or another network. It might have been my old network. Felix, you know better. Ahmed Johnson was telling stories about really how blacks were treated over the years in the business. One of the reasons why I wanted to have him to come on, because I wanted to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. He was telling about himself and some other people. Was he on your show, Felix?
Yes, he was.
Okay, that was an interview.
He was on last July, and he was very, very open about a lot.
Yeah,
he was not shy. He said, they know where I live and they want to try me. I say, bring it.
Right. And a lot of the online magazines and dirt sheets picked it up. What were some of the things he was saying, if you recall?
One thing that stuck out in particular was something that really he's still fuming about years later, was when he won the Intercontinental title. Somebody keyed in the N-word on his car.
Right.
And when he went to Vince about it, nothing was done.
Nothing ever going to be done. But the thing about Ahmed Johnson is he's like me. He ain't got nothing to lose.
Right.
He can care less if he ever goes back to that company. You know what I mean? I mean, that's why I say, I eat bologna and cheese. I've done it this long. Look, I've been gone from there over 14 years. So I know that there's life after that. I know that. But my point is, Ahmed Johnson, Brickhouse Brown. If you ever get Brickhouse on the radio, Brickhouse will tell you some stories. Because he don't have anything to lose. But it's the people that I said before that's got it somewhere in the back of their mind that they think they're going to get another run or a Legends contract or something. They're not going to say anything, they're not going to say anything damning about the company.
Yeah, it's just really amazing, some of the stories that a lot of people have. Positive and negative. Yeah. There's positives and negatives in anything, but some of the times, and I'm the first one to attest to this. It was a thing where the boys just go too far with things. They went too far. But more importantly than that, and worse than that, is the fact that with the things that they do, it's not even frowned upon. It's nothing's done about it, and all that other kind of. That's the disturbing part about it all.
Well, look, here's the deal. When Nelson and I went to Vince McMahon, you weren't even there yet, Oscar. In '95, you wasn't there. We had gotten to, we were in somewhere in Florida, Orlando or something. You hadn't got to the building yet. Nelson and I had sat in his hotel room, and we had decided that we was going to leave the company. This is before we even did the split, and we had sat in the hotel room, and Nelson and I decided we was going to leave the company, and so we said we were going to go walk into the building, the Royal Rumble '95. We was going to walk into the building and tell Vince McMahon, that we were done, that we were leaving, because it was January. We had to give a 90-day notice. Our contract was coming up in June. And so, we were going to tell him, So we thought, okay, well, let's build up our, our confidence so we don't back out of this thing. And so him and I sat there, and for the first time of all the times that I was with him on the road, I sat there with him and Mike Halleck, Mantar, and smoked a joint with him. So we got faded, and we said we gonna tell Vince we quitting. We got to the building, we walked in the building, and there's a sign posted on the wall that said drug test today. So at that point, we were like, well, heck, we just got through smoking a joint. We're going to fail this drug test, so we might as well just go on and do it. We saw Vince, said, Vince, hey, can we talk to you? And Vince was easy back then. He called us into his office. And we thanked him for the opportunity or whatever, and told him we wanted to leave. And we told him why, because that was when they wasn't doing nothing with me. And Vince claimed not to have any knowledge of that situation with Shawn Michaels. He claimed he didn't know anything about that situation with Shawn Michaels overseas.
Okay, right.
Okay, yeah, exactly. It goes back to, like Ahmed said, you go to him about something, and nothing is done. I mean, come on, man. We're working for you. We're putting our bodies on the line for you and for your company. Sure, you're paying us, you know what I mean? But still, we're working for you. Can we not get some type of protection? can we not have some type of loyalty from you that's going to protect us, not only physically but mentally, and are we not worth that too? Or are we just some dirty, field niggas, and it don't matter how we feel or, what happens to us? Because that's the way we was getting treated. That was the way we was getting treated, and it was evident of the way we got paid too. First year, dude, $30,000.
Can't hear you.
First year, $30,000.
I said, it sounded like to me Vince was worse than the pimp.
Exactly.
Really,
at least
first year, pimp, he ain't gonna allow nobody else to come mistreat his workers.
Right. You're right. A real pimp ain't gonna just let no outside person mistreat his hoes. Mm-hmm. And then he also gonna make the inside hoes treat each other with a little bit more respect.
Exactly.
Right. Well, that didn't happen. That's what I'm saying. That didn't happen. So yeah, Felix said I believe that Ahmed Johnson done it. I'm just saying that there's going to be few and far between of people that will come in here on the radio broadcast and actually tell the truth. 100% the truth. If you ask the hard questions. See, I notice how you always avoid the hard questions, Oscar, because you two are trying to stay PC. I'm trying to stay PC, but, what does people really want to hear? What's going to make them want to go back and listen to that podcast over and over and over again? They're going to want to go hear that 2 or 3 times to make sure that they heard what they think they thought they heard. Did he just
All right, well, I'll tell you what. You know me. You know I got a lot of nerve. I've been trying to be politically correct and keep this thing on an even keel as to not offend nobody, I don't want to upset. What?
I wasn't trying to suggest that you get that way. All I was saying was that even with these podcasts, man, everybody's trying to be PC, and nobody's gonna come on here and so the next person that comes on here, just flat out ask them, hey, tell me what your thoughts are on Vince McMahon himself and the way he run the company, and see if you get an honest answer.
No problem. I'll be like,
you get an honest answer.
Yeah, did anybody try to tickle your ass while you were there? Any background on politics? How did you really get the title?
Of course.
Well, we could ask a certain individual. Tell us what the conversation was on that roof in Ocean City, Maryland. What exactly did you say, and what did he say back?
Right, for you to be the Intercontinental Champion the next night.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
I want to know this. Not to mention, you leave one week and you come back a month later, and you get a bigger pay raise when you come back than you had when you was there the first time.
Well, on that note, we want to thank Joseph Bruen for being on, Jesse Hernandez. It's been a great in-house discussion with Dreamy and Mo and Felix. And next week we hope to have Al Snow. We hope to have great guests in the future. We're going to throw out BMPC down there in the wash. Thank you for thank you for listening to Not Your Mama's Radio Show. Mo, you have a good night. I will talk to you off the air.
All right.
You know what? I actually just want to bring to your guys' attention one thing, too. Yeah. Obviously, I want to throw out there to people listening to make sure to follow Oscar on Twitter. His Twitter handle is @MOM_Oscar. Also, I did want to mention that I have been in communications with Vince Russo and trying to work out a deal for you guys to kind of switch off, and you and Oscar and Mo go on his show, and he would come on your show.
Definitely.
Let you know how that goes. Vince is definitely a fan of you guys. So, I mean, he just created his new podcast, The Swerve, And he's very blunt about a lot of things too. Very straightforward. He gets a bad rap.
He's definitely the guy to ask those questions Mo would have asked. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
He's definitely he's not shy about telling things. He gets a bad rap. He gets a bad rap about a lot of things, but I know he's very straightforward and in a more happier place now than he was 15, 20 years ago.
Great. I'll be interested.
Well, I'm looking forward. That is going to be bagging the elephant. I'm looking forward to having Vince Russo on because he's got a lot of history. He was really pivotal in this business. He's got a lot to say.
Also, I want to let you guys know, too, that I have been in contact, and now this is not something that's going to be a for sure thing, but just to let you know, as I was telling Oscar the other night, that I have been trying to get in contact with Podcast One and see about maybe getting Mo and Oscar on one of the podcasts there as a guest, possibly a future host one day. You never know. Anything with the stars align and everything goes well, it could happen.
Sounds good.
Well, we're looking to get bigger and bigger. I'll let you guys know more next week. We have a major announcement. It looks like we picked up a sponsor. Actually, a sponsor who's going to fork over some dough. So I'll let you guys know more about that next week. So things are picking up.
I think they are too. You guys did a great show tonight. Good guest. You guys, thanks for hanging in there and staying up as late as you guys are on the Central Coast, East Coast, wherever y'all. I think Mo, you're in North Carolina, right? Or are you in
Tennessee?
I'm on Central.
Tennessee.
I'm on Central right now.
Okay. Appreciate you guys hanging in there tonight, coming on a little later than normal, but we'll be back to the normal time next week.
No problem, bro.
All right, guys.
All right. Good night.
Bye,
Mom. Guys.
Love you.
Love you too.
Well,